welcome you all to our community call. We do this every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. And I hope you guys are going to love some of the information you're going to receive tonight. The topic is struggling and also getting to your goal weight. Who wants to talk about that? I know you're going to love this conversation. So I'm just going to introduce myself real quick and tell a tiny bit about my story, and then I'm going to turn it over to some other amazing stories. So put a 1 in the chat if you've ever lost weight on another program and gained it back. Put a 1 in the chat. I have a feeling I'm going to see a lot of 1s. So for me personally, I could have put an 18 in the chat because that's how many diets I failed on prior to Optavia, 18 times. And when I say failed, I didn't fail at the actual losing weight part. I failed at the keeping it off part. So 3 other times in my life, I lost 65 pounds to gain it back and then some. So when I started Optavia, I was scared to death, but I said, I will do Optavia for 30 days, 100% the way my coach Michelle told me to do it and the way Dr. A designed it. I said, I will not judge it until the end of a month. What happened to me, long story quickly, is I lost 76 pounds in 7 months. Results not typical, even though they are kind of typical, but I lost that weight, which was a great, amazing for me. I got off blood pressure medicine, which was beyond my wildest dreams. I was told I would never get off blood pressure medicine. I have a heart valve issue, so my doctor said, you're never going to be off that medication. So that was also great, but you know that commercial, the priceless for me is that next month will be 6 years of keeping the weight off. And so I want you all to know that you do have something in your hands, not just will get you to the healthiest weight for you. It will also, if you embrace all the aspects of Optavia, you'll be able to change your health for the rest of your life. I never, ever believed that I could do that until Optavia gave me the hope in the way. So I want to share this with you. This is what Dr. Anderson, who is the founder of our program, says about diets. Approximately 85% of people who go on a diet gain all their weight back within 2 years. And if not all their weight, they gain it all back plus extra. So he was totally describing me because I think I gained all my weight back within a week on all the other programs. The only habit they ever create is the habit of dieting over and over and over and over. That's the definition of insanity. And that is what I did from the time I was 15 until I turned 44 and got on this program. So I'm sure there's so many other stories out there like that. All it takes is one decision to go all in and follow the system. So I am actually I'm going to share one other part of my story. When I was losing my weight, I had 2 full-time jobs. One was outside of my house in finance. I hated that job. And then the job I loved was in my house. I had a chocolate business. I had a chocolate business for 15 years. I had that business the whole time I was losing my weight. And so people are writing in the chat, 44, I'm actually 50 now, guys. So I just want you to know that. But anyway, I had a chocolate business and I lost all my weight. Why having that chocolate business? Now, where I got my chocolate supplies from was a local chocolate supplier in our town. And I'm going to share, the next guest is Christy Brown. Her family owned the chocolate supply store where I got my chocolates from. And I'm gonna share a screen real quick. So I'm gonna show you her picture just so you guys have it. Give me one sec. And then I'm gonna have her come off mute. Oh, know what, guys? I forgot to tell you, I'm gonna share the picture too. Hold on one sec, just so you can see. So prior to COVID, we used to do this really fun thing. We would go to the grocery store. Chrissy, give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen. Okay, good. So this was my picture. This is 76 pounds in sugar that I lost. I can't hold what I lost in sugar, which makes sense why I was always sick and tired. So this was my creative way of showing how much I lost in sugar. Right now, we haven't been doing that contest because it's a little different at the grocery store these days. So, hey, Kirsty, I'm gonna share your picture and then I'm gonna have you come on.
Awesome. Well, hey friends, good evening. I'm excited to be here with all of you tonight. And my name is Christy. Just like Leslie shared and mentioned, I always like to say, honestly, chocolate got me healthy. You see, what Leslie didn't know about me when she was coming in my shop every week was that I battled with weight ever since I was a child. I went on my first diet actually in 5th grade. And ever since then, I was that yo-yo dieter. I'd lose the weight, but I'd even have it where I'd find it more and then some. But I'll tell you, Optavia was the catalyst for me. You see, just one weekend, I lost 6 pounds. I had energy galore and no cravings. There is nothing like fat burn. So I want to hear, drop a 1 down below if you're currently in fat burn, or a 3 if you're in the maintenance phase. And quickly on in this program, I knew this was different, especially being around chocolate and icing all day. I had no desire for it. I was amazed just one weekend that this program was different. And Leslie called me every week. That accountability piece was huge. I also had this amazing support community on Facebook, as well as an education piece. But if I'm being honest with all of you, I didn't open the books right away. They intimidated me. I realized quickly on, though, after hopping on these calls, that I was missing a big part of this program. So that week, actually, I made a goal to work through just a few pages. My friends, there's power in those books. I want to encourage you to work through them, because transformation doesn't just happen on the scale. It happens up here. And I'd love to know too, drop in the chat what your favorite component of this program is. I think they're all equally amazing, but I'd love to know. And just like I was sharing, I actually lost 42 pounds in a little over 4 months. I was amazed, never had I lost weight like this. I followed what Leslie said. I stuck to the program 100%. I was so happy. And I would then go on to maintain my success for 4 years. I was so proud of myself for actually living optimal health, and just this program, what it gave me for breakthrough and keeping my weight off. Then my husband and I were blessed to find out that I was expecting. I'll be honest, pregnancy was rough for me. I indulged, I'm gonna be honest. I would joke my daughter's gonna be sweet because those cravings, let me say, ladies, I don't know if I'm alone, but I used pregnancy as an excuse to not eat the healthiest. But after I had my daughter, the weight didn't come off as easily as I thought, but I didn't worry. To be honest with you, I knew I had a tool in my tool belt, and I knew I had the answer. And 6 weeks after my daughter was here, I hopped back on 5 and 1. I got right back down to my baby weight. And even more so, I'm the wife, the mom, the friend I want to be. I have energy to keep up with my now 1-year-old. It's crazy to think. And I used to battle with anxiety a lot. That has changed. I always say the weight doesn't just weigh you down physically, it weighs you down mentally. And this program has truly revolutionized my life. Instead of just existing, I'm now living. And if you would have said, Christy, you're going to one day, be an inspiration, help others through breakthrough, I would have never believed it. I mean, honestly, from being an avid yo-yo dieter, just like Leslie, to having a cake supply shop, I would never believe you. How could I help others in their health? But I have to say, this is the most amazing gift I've ever been given. So whether you're chasing healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, or all three like I was, this program can radically change your life. My husband and I both coach full time. Even better, we're present parents to our little girl. This program is truly life-changing, and it's given us a life we've never thought possible. And we can really live its full potential. I always say you just have to be open to exploring all that it offers. So a few really big tips: answer your coach's call when she calls you each week. I loved it. That accountability piece was huge. Work in that life book and really just follow the program as it's designed. You will see the best success. Leslie, thanks so much for sharing. And hey, I'm so blessed that you had that chocolate business and our paths crossed.
Hey, Christy, thanks so much for sharing your story. Guys, so I shared with all of you that I was 44 when I started. I think Christy 22, 24?
22.
So, yeah, 22, yeah. I guessed right. And just so you know, like our program works for everyone. It doesn't matter how young you are, like Christy, or I'm not going to say I'm old because I don't feel old, and I don't want to offend anyone else either, because the older you get, the less old everyone else gets. So, but it definitely works. Thanks, Christy, for sharing your story with all of us tonight. So guys, I'm going to share my screen again, because we're going to share some slides that'll help you. So I want everyone to know, though, why I'm getting that pulled back up. I'm going to stop the spotlight on Christy. I think I did. Okay. Why I'm pulling this back up, guys, I just want you to know my oldest client is 92. So
Wow.
isn't that awesome? Yeah. So, Christy, hold up your hand if you see you on the screen. Give me a thumbs up. Just me. Okay, cool. Don't worry. I'm gonna change your picture and we'll get started. So I know after the holidays, some of you are struggling. So it's time to get back to healthy. The holidays are over, and we're going to give you some great skills and tips to do that. But even if you're new and you're not struggling, the tips are going to help you also. So I want you to know we're going to help all of you with the tips we're going to give tonight. And I'm going to share. So I'm going to read this to you, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but this is what I want from all of you. No more, I'll do it tomorrow. No more, I can't do it because ... No more, I'm too tired. No more, it's too hard. No more, I would if. And no more, I like food too much. The no more, I like food too much, everyone that's been part of this program was in your shoes. Trust me, I didn't have to diet my whole life since I was 15 because I didn't like food. I liked food too much too. So definitely, let's all make a commitment that no more of that. So the next thing I want to share with you is, what is your why? Do you have your why written down? I want you to write your why down right now on a piece of paper in front of you. And if you're bold enough to share your why in the chat, that would be awesome. And we actually will read some of them later in the chat because I can't see the chat at the same time my screen is up, unfortunately. But I'm going to share real quick what my why was. My why was my son was 13 years old, and I knew the way I was going, I was not going to see him grow up because I was just getting unhealthier. So my son became my why, and he lived in our house. So I saw my why every day. I didn't even have to write my why down because it was always around me. So I decided, and this is what I always tell my clients, so I'm going to give you the visual. I held up two hands every morning. One, I put a pretend cupcake, a really, really big, delicious cupcake over here. And I pictured my son over here. And I finally decided if I had to tell my son over here that I kept choosing cupcakes and chocolate and anything sweet over him, and that's why either my quality of life wasn't going to be there anymore, or I might not be here anymore, how would that feel? So my why, instead of like a wedding dress, a vacation, or all the other whys I used to have, became about my health. Everything changed. So I hope some of you are sharing your why in the chat. If you haven't written down your why, or you don't even know what your why is yet, I encourage you really, really, really passionately to find your why. It will change everything for you. So now, next. These are, there's tons of keys to success with Optavia, but I want you to know these are 8 of the ones I think are really important and ones I give my clients a lot. If they're on here right now, they're like, oh, here she goes again. So Christy alluded to it and I read from it. See this book? Dr. A created this book, and a lot of people never open it, or they open it when they're at the end of their journey. I always tell my clients, first of all, the second they get the book, I say, write your name in this book. If you want to not be on a diet the rest of your life and you actually want to transform your life, I encourage you to spend 10 minutes every day in this book. So what I tell my clients to do is time 10 minutes on their phone, work in that book. Once the 10 minutes is over, then it's totally okay to keep, to put it aside. If you can do more than 10 minutes and you're loving it, which happens a lot, do it. That book really is the difference between a diet and a mindset shift. I read this book cover to cover when I started the program. I actually thought Dr. Anderson wrote this book about me because he nailed all of the emotions, the sleep, all of those things that I always struggled with. Here's something, it's a little bit different, but I want to share this with you. If you're somebody who's been struggling and you haven't found your way to get back yet, this is what I tell everyone. And this worked for me one time when I had struggled. 10-day reset. Go back full 5 and 1, 100% for 10 days. Don't think about 30 days. Don't think about 3 months. Just do a 10-day reset. At the end of those 10 days, I promise you, you will start feeling good again. You'll get into a strong fat burn, and then you'll continue going towards your goal weight. I needed to do a 10-day reset one time when I was in maintenance, and that's where that rule was born. So I just want to share that with you. It works really, really well. And then, have you ever heard don't hack the food? And some of you don't know what that means. Hacking the fuelings means adding adding stuff to the fueling beside just water. So if you're adding egg whites, you're adding Cool Whip, PB2. Don't add all of that to your fuelings. You're actually hurting your journey. You're slowing it up, and you're also could be throwing yourself out of fat burn. Now, if you're just making your fuelings a different way, let's say instead of putting my favorite fueling in the world, the brownie, if let's say you, instead of putting it in the microwave, you put it in the dash or you put it in the oven, that's not hacking the food. That's just cooking it a different way, and that's fine. What gets us in trouble is when we put Laughing Cow cheese and things like that. Okay, speaking of that, avoid the ish. Do you guys know what the ish is? Anyone? Throw it in the chat if you know the ish. So we're on 5 and 1 ish, where we're on 5 and 1 Monday through Friday. And then Saturday night comes and pizza comes in, or alcohol. And we say, well, I drank a bottle of wine, but I didn't have any food, and I still lost 2 pounds. That's great, but what you're doing is a diet. You are not doing Optavia. Definitely avoid the ish. This is why we talk about all of these things. It's not because we preach perfection. We actually want you to really view this not as an on, off, on, off. Sometimes things happen and you will make unhealthy choices, but if you can, get right back on and avoid the ish. The ish makes this program last a lot longer. Some of you say, might say, it's costing me a lot. I always say, then stop avoiding the ish, stop hacking the food, get to your goal weight in the quickest way possible. Quickest way possible is straight through. I know for me, I had to do it that way. Number one, I had a chocolate business and I loved chocolate. Number two, I knew anytime on all of those other diets, the first time I ate something that wasn't considered healthy, it didn't just set me back a week, it sent me back sometimes years. So just take me as an example and don't do that. Here's one that's going to shock you guys. The scale is not your friend. The scale is not your friend. So I want to say to all of you, once a week, whatever your weigh-in day is, that's the only day you need to see the scale. All of you that weigh yourself every day or every other day, you're hurting yourselves, because our program gives you so much more than just weight loss. You're going to lose inches, you're going to lose mindset, you're going to lose habits that kept you stuck for years. Here's what happens if you weigh yourself every day. When it's good, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just eat that, whatever it is for you. Or it's not good, it doesn't move. And you say, why am I doing all this if the scale's not moving? So I'm going to give you a tip my coach Michelle gave me, because I was not an everyday weigher, but I was close to it. She said, know what I want you to do? I want you to put on a pair of pants that doesn't fit you. And every single week after you weigh yourself, try on those pants. So I picked up a pair of jeans that I could not get over my hips. One day they went over my hips. I couldn't breathe, couldn't zip them. One day they could zip. On a week when the scale didn't move, the jeans fell off. So don't let the scale be your only tool, because that will totally mess you up. Okay, don't settle. Sometimes we settle for good enough because we don't think we can lose anymore. So when I was first asked how much weight I wanted to lose, I said 50. I didn't think I could lose 20. When I lost 50, I was like, oh, I can keep going. I was shocked. So I went on to lose 76. Truth be told, I wanted to weigh less than my thin husband for the first time in our adult lives. So, but it also was a good weight for me. But don't settle. When you get halfway to your goal weight, don't just give in and say, I'm feeling really good. You forget about the why, you forget about what got you, on the program in the first place. You get a little complacent, and sometimes you might get a little cocky too. Don't do that. That's a slippery slope right there. And I see it. I've actually been coaching as long as I've been a client, except for 1 week. I started my coaching career a week after I started program. So I've seen a lot over the last 6.5 years. The other thing is, and I know some of you are going to be scared about this, healthy habits never take a vacation. So many clients go on vacation and their healthy habits go out the window, and then they come back and it's hard to get back on. You can do it. I've seen lots of people do it successfully. What I challenge my clients to do is to try to still every day make healthy choices, also to make healthier choices than you would have prior to this program. So let's say prior to this program, you would eat dessert every single night. If you're on vacation and you eat 2 desserts a week instead of 7 nights a week, that's still a win. And don't beat yourself up. Just as soon as you get back, come right back to it. I want you to know my second week on program was July 4th. I was at the beach and I stayed the course, right? Everyone else didn't. And I didn't even mind. I was just feeling so good after the first 8 days. My energy was up. Okay, live your journey out loud is a key to success. So a lot of us that have been down this diet cycle so many times, we can't even count. Some of you can't even count how many times you've done it. I just guesstimate at my 18. All of those times prior to Optavia, I didn't tell anyone. I was embarrassed. I'd failed so many times. I was like, oh, I better not tell anyone. Maybe they don't notice that I'm obese. Maybe they don't notice that I'm too tired. Maybe they don't notice how bad I felt in pictures or about myself in person. So I say to all of you, live this journey out loud. If you love your coach, give your coach a shout out tonight. Just say down however many pounds you're down. Say you're so thankful to them sharing this program with you, and give a non-scale victory. So for me, I started living it out loud right away with my friends and family. I told friends of mine right away I needed their help. I needed to get healthy in a big way, not that I was on a diet. So that way, like people in my neighborhood, if I was going to a party at their house, they said, what can we make for you? What can we have? If I went home to walk my dog, they didn't bring attention to myself. They just supported me. The more people in your corner supporting you, the better off you're going to do. Your coach is going to support you, hopefully some of your family and friends, but the more people you tell, and it doesn't mean you have to say Optavia. We actually encourage you not to. We just say you're on a health program and just live it out loud, because that is the difference maker. My coach was doing that, and because she was, that's how I found out about program. With Christy, I wasn't quite doing it yet, but I was going in the chocolate store to buy supplies, and Christy kept seeing me go down. So I kind of became like a walking billboard. And that's how, her journey started. But anyway, I want to save time because we have another amazing story that I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to share her picture and then she'll come off mute. And I'm not going to give any of her story away, none of it. So I'm going to just introduce her. Her name is Kathy Stryker, and her story is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Leslie. I mean, you are amazing. And my wonderful health coach, Kathy Bosley, is amazing. And I really think the key to Optavia is the loving, loving support we get from our coaches and our Facebook community. Now, that picture she just shared blows me away, because on the left side of the picture is a picture of me in the hospital in this nightgown my mom had to go and buy at Walmart for me, because I had an emergency surgery. It was a colon surgery, and it was because of my unhealthy lifestyle. I was 314 pounds in that picture. Today I sit here 153 pounds, 16 months later. It's just amazing what can happen. And I couldn't believe at that point that could happen for me. It blows me away. Like I said, when I had my health assessment, my coach said, can you lose 40 pounds? And I said, no, but you can write it on the paper. If you think I can, I'll try. I had failed, like everybody else said they'd failed many times before. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to try it for a month. That's all my coach said, just commit to a month. I did. And I said to myself, look, I am doing this 110%, because at the end of these 30 days, it's not going to be me that failed. If this doesn't work, it's Optavia, it's not me. And I did. I stuck to it. I did not get off plan for those 30 days. And at the end of it, I was 18 pounds lighter. And I could never believed I could have lost 18 pounds. And that kept me going. I thought, well, now I'm not going to lose my momentum. And I signed up 10 days, or I started 10 days before my birthday. So people say, oh, I'm going to wait till after my birthday. I'm going to wait till after the holidays. there's never a good time. You just got to do it. And people are understanding, like Leslie said. So I signed up, I kept going another month and another month. And I thought, when we get to Christmas, because I signed up in September, I thought I'm going to be really good. And then I'm going to have a piece of my mom's fudge that she only makes at Christmas. And I'm just going to have one piece and I'll get right back on plan. And I made that decision months, like in October. And so I was kind of looking forward to that. I got to Christmas. My mom looks at me and she says, "Are you going to have the fudge? I mean, what have you thought?" And I said, I can't do that to myself. I'm in a fat burn. I've lost all this weight. I feel awesome. I'm energetic. I am not going to do that. I don't have to do it. And the cravings actually had gone away. So it was easier for me to say no. I have a little mantra that I've used though, when I have felt tempted, and it's not today. My 5-year-old nephew loves to say that. Anything happens, he goes, "Not today." And he puts his hands on his hips. And so I kind of use that anytime I want to have, Papa John's pizza or something, I've had a rough day. I just go, "Nope, not today. It's not happening today." And I just really stick with it. And part of my reasoning is I'm afraid a little bit if I crack that door open, it's just going to blow wide open and I won't be able to control it. I won't be able to get back on plan. And so to me, I've got 23 more pounds to get to my goal weight. I'm not going to sabotage that. Not today. So it's the same stop, challenge, choose. If you've gotten into your life book, which like everybody's got their awesome life book here, getting into that, changing your mindset, you can stop, challenge yourself about it, and then choose to make that decision and not feel guilty. But for me, I don't want to have the temptation. And so I'm just not even cracking that door open at all. I did want to say though, that one of the things that happened during COVID is I was really praying and asking the Lord to give me a way to minister to people and love on people and be a blessing to people. And interestingly enough, paying it forward and becoming a health coach has done that. I have been able to bless people and love on them. And then I receive all this love in return. I have amazing clients that are just rocking this awesome health journey. And that's been such a blessing. And so as you get free from this weight and you get the energy and the joy just radiates from you, there are blessings coming your way and people, you will be a blessing to them. So I just want to say thank you to my coaches who really fed into me when I didn't have faith in myself and now gave me that good example that I can really feed into others. And I'm still on this journey. I'm still in the 5 and 1 and I'm sticking to it. I'm not giving up. So thanks, Leslie. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Thanks, Kathy. I love your story. And I got to see such a huge part of it. Every time we would Zoom, I'm just like, her face keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. I mean, 157 pounds gone, maybe a little bit more since I last checked, but amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. And the chat is blowing up. I love "not today." That's really going to help people. I'm just going to say one of the quotes that helped me along the way. If hunger is not the problem, food is not the answer. And I never learned that until Optavia, because I never ate out of hunger prior to Optavia. So that was one of the ones that became one of my mantras during the losing weight phase. So I just wanted to let you guys know, this is the end of our client portion. We close this out and then we rejoin back up for our coach training. We invite anyone who wants to stay for that. Nothing that we do is secret as coaches. We just love for you all to come along. I want you to know, Kathy, becoming a coach, I know is going to put a safety belt on your health. And I know that's what it did for me, especially in this last year of 2020. I don't know what would have happened to me without our community, Optavia, and paying it forward. So thank you guys. Thanks, Christy and Kathy, so much for sharing your stories tonight. And I hope you all have a perfect, great week. Get into your life book if you haven't. It's a game changer. Have a good night, everyone.